Mass Effect 1 is one of the most important video games to me, and it still remains my favorite out of that franchise, and probably my favorite BioWare RPG to date. And a lot of that has to do with Virmire. You see, up until that point in the game, you're doing kind of all the standard RPG stuff. You're meeting your NPCs, you're learning about the world, you're introduced to the MacGuffin and the antagonist and so on and so forth. But it's really not until Virmire that everything starts to crystallize and come together. I mean, it starts off with the best use of the Mako in the game, really. As you're driving through this rocky, watery, tropical planet, you're blowing up those Geth armatures, you're landing your crew down as you're ready to begin a siege. I mean, and it's that point that you meet Captain Kirrahe, who's one of my favorite, and has one of my favorite scenes in all of gaming. And that's just one of the 4 big things that Virmire does. You see, Kirrahe's "we held the line" speech came at a time when little Johnny was so getting hooked on rhetoric and language and writing. I mean, I was getting fucking amped with Aragorn's Black Gate speech. And so when Kirrahe says, "we held the line," I thought, video games can do this? Video games can have strong writing, and you know, if you go back and look at it now, it's really not the best sequence. The animations are flat and repetitive, and you can kind of see through the curtain about what's really going on. But the writing still holds up. And that's what makes it so memorable. And that's just the first thing that happens, because after you meet Kirrahe, and after you design your siege plan, you have that confrontation with Rex. Now, I mean, I don't know. I was the type of guy who made sure that I always checked up with him on the Normandy, but for those who didn't have that inclination, I mean, this is the moment where Rex can die. One of the best characters in the entire Mass Effect franchise, and you could not experience what he has to say in Mass Effect 2 or 3. I mean, this is the first big choice. And we're still not even done Virmire yet. Because after you lay siege, after we held the line, after Rex, you meet Sovereign. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it. Like, I mean, it's one of the best antagonist-protagonist interactions in all of video games, I mean, in my opinion. What Sovereign says and how he articulates it sent chills down my spine when I was just a little kid on the couch, and it still continues to put chills down my spine 12 years later. I mean, what BioWare did with the Child and the Leviathan DLC is horrendous, because they retconned this Lovecraftian nature of what the Reapers were. I mean, they were terrifying. We didn't need any more explanation about who the Reapers were and what they were wanting to do. They were just here to reap, literally. They were gonna cull everybody, and they were gonna be terrifying, and we didn't have to know anything about them. And I still love what Sovereign says, and to me, he's really what the Reapers were even in the later games, past Harbinger and all of that crap. Sovereign is my favorite, and he's probably one of my favorite villains, antagonists, in all of video games. And we're still not done Virmire yet, because after that, we have the Kaidan versus Ashley choice. And I'm so sorry, Kaidan, I never gave you a chance. I mean, you're as vanilla as a Starbucks latte on a cold autumn day with Lululemons and listen to Taylor Swift. And I know that really perhaps doesn't do you justice, but you really were not gonna come out of there alive. And I haven't really yet even played a playthrough of Mass Effect where I have Kaidan on the top. And that's Virmire. You have all of this jam-packed into a single 90-minute experience that really marks the turning point in BioWare's Mass Effect. But it's also this great culmination of all of this choice. All of this choice starts here. All of the writing really crystallizes in this moment. And really understanding the Reaper threat is when this starts to become more of a game, become more of an experience, rather than just whatever it was, like any other BioWare RPG. This is when BioWare's Mass Effect becomes distinct from the rest. And I mean, the conversation with Sovereign, Kirrahe, Rex, Kaidan versus Ashley, it really hits on this like horror sub-theme that we don't really get in the later that we don't really get in the later installments of the game. I mean, like, with like the creepiness of Pharos and the Rachni and the Prothean montage flashback thing, Mass Effect's kind of a scary game. I still get kind of freaked out by it. And it really articulates Virmire, both the vastness of space and the fear of the beyond, as well kind of with that sci-fi shooter space opera kind of action. And Virmire remains probably the best mission that puts all of that together. And so 12 years later, Virmire remains one of my favorite gaming experiences. And I just wanted to share that with you guys because, you know, we don't really talk about some of our positive memories, or at least we don't talk about that enough. So thanks for listening. Standing out here and a lot of old people walking around. So I'll see you guys later when I'm gonna talk, you know, about some other V's and my favorite video game moments. Bye. And as a short postscript to this video, I just wanted to give a little bit of a channel update. It's been over a year now that I've been doing this YouTube thing, and I have 133 subscribers as of the recording of this video. And to be honest, I probably only know 20 of you in real life. So the other 113 of you, I mean, thanks for sticking around. I hope you're liking what's going on here, and I hope you've enjoyed this kind of new thing that I'm trying to do. I've always wanted to do stuff that's more in front of the camera, and I'm still doing reviews and stuff, but you might kind of see some new kinds of content in the coming weeks as we get down wrapping up 2019, because what a year of games it was. And yeah, I just wanted to say thanks, I guess. It takes a lot, so comment. I love reading the comments. I love getting asked questions. I love talking about video games. That's why I've done all of this stuff. I really was just like, I talk about video games to my cats, but I thought, you know, it might be a more positive experience talking to you guys, having a conversation. Love talking about games. So I hope you stick around for the stuff in the weeks to come and months to come, and thanks for everything. So yeah. There's no snow yet. I don't feel very Canadian. Soon.